Welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight by AudateMedia. In this interview show, you will learn how to succeed through other people's stories, challenges that they overcame, and how they are winning in this new economy. You'll learn what to do in your business, what not to do in your business, and how others are succeeding. Tune in every week to discover new stories, new businesses, and new ideas.
Welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight. Today I have a special guest, Ren Dianelli, the CEO of Vixen Creative, right?
Vixen Creative Agency.
Vixen Creative Agency. How did you come up with that name in the first place?
Well, I have always really liked foxes. And
Fox?
Yeah, Vixen is a fox.
Okay.
So I didn't want to call it Fox, though. So I thought that, Vixen would be really fun. And I like it because it's very feminist and it's very, powerful, you know?
Gotcha.
And that's what my company's about.
Is the objective to attract women as clients?
Everybody, yeah. I mean, our values are very strongly feminist, but if you align with that, then you'll probably align with us.
Okay, gotcha. What intrigued you to get started in running a social media business, marketing agency?
Yeah, so I have a background in the film industry and photography.
Okay.
So I went to school and I've done some directing and some writing and things. And I just really love visual arts and telling stories. And I also really love small businesses. So a few years ago, I was working for a coffee shop and I noticed that he didn't have an Instagram and he'd very much benefit from it. So I started one without asking.
Okay. Under his business?
Yeah, I started one for his business and I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. And I did it for about a month. I took, my original photography and I created things that I thought would work. And I showed it to him, and I was like, I want you to pay me to do this. And he said yes. Okay. So I started my business.
While you were working in there? Mm-hmm. So you were essentially, I think what they call it, entrepreneur?
Yeah. I guess that's what
so
that
you're inside of a business, but you have that entrepreneur spirit where you're doing things without being told to move the company forward.
Yeah.
So you were inside the business, but you still have that entrepreneur spirit inside of you. That's really interesting because I think a lot of people don't even take advantage when they see a need and they don't take advantage of it and they kind of hey, he didn't tell me to do that, so I'm not going to do that.
Right.
What are your thoughts on when people have that opportunity, but they're like, hey, I'm going to step back and I'm not going to take action on it?
I mean, you're not going to go very far if you don't just jump into something, if you don't try. I could have failed. He could have said no, and I would have been like, all right, I'll try with something else. I'll try another business, or I'll push forward.
Do you think that if he said no, you still would have created Vixen?
Definitely, eventually. But I do have to say that client, he's still my client.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
And do you still work at the coffee shop?
No. No, it's been a while. But that client has brought me so much business. He has been the biggest support for me. I don't think that I would be where I am without his help as fast as I did. So he was really pivotal, and that him saying yes to me was absolutely very pivotal. I think eventually I would have done something.
During that time, if he would say yes or no?
Not really. I had a good relationship with him. He's like family to me.
Gotcha.
He became that way. So when I asked, I kind of was just like, what do you think? How about it? And he said yes.
Okay. Now, what does social media do for someone like a coffee shop?
Oh my gosh, so much. So something that, just a case study with that client alone, it will increase online sales. It'll increase social credibility, and you can reach out to your community directly. You give a chance for the people who love your coffee shop to have direct access to you, to post and tag you, to get involved and feel excited when you get posted onto the page. Even if it's a small account, there's something really special about your favorite coffee shop taking your post and putting it on there.
What do you mean small account?
Well, it's a small account, so it's it's a local roaster. They're very community based. They have a little over 1,000 followers.
Okay.
It's nothing huge.
Oh, yeah. When you say small account, like the social media following?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty small following in the grand scheme of things, but 1,000+ people that love that coffee shop follow that page.
Yeah, that's a lot of people though.
Yeah, so it's when you get excited when you post a picture of your latte and then that account reposts it.
Yeah.
So much of what we do for them is about being in their community and being a part of it. So they've also seen an amazing increase in sales. Last year when the pandemic started, we did a huge shift to do campaigns that pushed to the online shop to sell. We saw a 93%.
The store?
Yeah. So we did, there's an online shop for the coffee shop as well, because they sell their coffee online, because they're a roaster. And we shifted our focus on social media to push people to buy online. And this was right when the pandemic started. They saw a 93% increase in sales from the previous year.
That's a lot.
And that's all we changed, was what I did.
That's a lot.
So that's what social media does.
What is it that you're doing though? Like, what makes it so unique?
You know, it's something that I think that is what my company does different is that we're artistic. So I'm not just putting stock photos of coffee. I'm going in there and I'm taking beautiful photos of what the actual coffee bean in that store looks like.
Gotcha.
The roaster that's been there since it's from the 20s from Germany. Like, it's a beautiful piece of machinery. We take a bunch of pictures of that. Nobody else has that thing. You know.
Gotcha.
Like, we showcase what is special, and people love to see it. You know.
Gotcha. So now, someone hires you, brings you on, and to have you run their social media. Is it just like running their accounts? Is it just managing their Facebook and Instagram?
It's so much. I mean, we can do anything about your online presence, really. So it's a lot more than just managing, too. Everything that we do is very data-driven, and I have strategies, and I'm very actively updating what that data tells me. So if I see something particular is working, we'll do more of it. Something's not working, we'll do less of it, or not at all. We pay attention to what's going on. I don't just make nice things and post them.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm very involved. Like me, myself, I'm in that account, talking to your followers, liking other posts, interacting, showing people that there's a human being behind your brand. That goes a really long way in creating a relationship with your fans.
Yeah, 100%. And now, when you talk about data, what type of data? Because I know like Facebook is all about data.
Yeah.
Right? They're all about, hey, I need to get data. What type of data are you talking about?
So analytics, like what your reach looks like. So how many unique accounts are seeing your post? What's the reach? How many impressions would be like how many times that thing is on a screen. So, for example, we just did a post for the coffee shop. We boosted it over 5 days with $100, and we saw 12,000 impressions.
Wow. So 12,000 times that this post was seen.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And it was a post about hiring, so they got a bunch of applicants.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So now that can bring in top talent from around the country or even locally.
Yeah, locally, because it's targeted the way that I have whatever they want. So in this case, we targeted a 5-mile radius, a certain age group, a certain set of interests, so that the only people seeing that ad were people that were pre-qualified to apply.
Gotcha. So what's your goals now for your company?
Oh, wow. So Vixen Creative Agency officially started this year, around the beginning of this year. I've been doing this for over 3 years myself, but I actually got more serious, in the last 6 months. And I have been working really hard to figure out exactly what direction I want to head in, but I think I've got it figured out. I would love to go international at some point. But the idea is to have a branch in all the main cities where my company is connecting local artists with small businesses. And we're making authentic, creative, very unique, beautiful content. And then we're giving it to these local businesses. And then my company is in charge of making sure it works. So with our data and our strategies and everything that we do in-house, we're taking unique content, giving it to small businesses.
Gotcha. And so it started 6 months ago. And so what were you doing before?
Well, I was doing this for the last few years, just kind of on the side.
Okay, like a side hustle.
Yeah, like a side hustle. Because when I asked the coffee shop to let me do it, it was very much like just a test. I just wanted to try something different.
Oh, were you at the coffee shop last year?
I was there until the end of last year.
Oh, okay. So this is like a real recent.
Yeah, because this was in Long Beach, California.
Gotcha.
So I was still working at the coffee shop. I was the director of marketing. Like I only worked in the back of house. I didn't make coffee anymore.
Gotcha.
Like I got myself a nice promotion too,
Yeah.
But I was doing like his accounting and his bookkeeping and all of his media and marketing. And I did all the management for the coffee shop that wasn't directly with the employees.
I see.
So I was doing that for a while, and then I've had a good handful of clients for a long time. Like I've lived off my business since I started it practically.
Impressive. So the future of Vixen is for you to essentially build. Is it a franchise model or is it corporate and then you have multiple branches around the country?
I think it'd be corporate because I want to still have the overall control of like how things happen and make sure that they stay to my standards.
Okay.
But I can see it growing in a way where I have like just, a tree of management and of people who are able to go out and find the artists and find the businesses and make the connections happen, and then the rest of us in-house, like just make sure everything runs smoothly.
Gotcha. So in the future, you're gonna have these different branches. What makes you so confident and what makes you able to think so big? I mean, some people would say, hey, the big step was I have a business, so I'm straight, like I'm good. I'm good, like let's stop right here. But you're saying, no, I already have the business, I have clients and it's successful, but I wanna grow and I wanna be even bigger.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you have so much guts to be able to create something like that?
I don't know, I have big ideas and I go for them and I don't let failure stop me.
And how does these ideas come to you? Is it like, you're sleeping? Is it you're driving? Is it you're taking a shower and you're like, oh, you know what? Let me start a branch. Let me start branches in the future.
I mean, I am always just thinking about stuff. This most recent, I just recently was talking to one of my girls in my company and she was saying how she can't wait until we grow internationally. And I was like, what would that look like? And I thought more about it and I was like, she's right. We could be doing this on an endless scale.
Yeah.
Why would I stop in my city? Why would I stop in my country? Why wouldn't I go, global?
Gotcha. Man, is it scary to think like that?
Not really. It's exciting. I know a lot of people can definitely get scared of those ideas, but I've never been like that. I've always gone for it. I'm still pursuing a career as a filmmaker, but that's something that's kind of on the back burner because of the pandemic, so I had to pivot into this business more, which is not a bad thing at all. Having an online business was what saved me, so.
Right. So what are the step-by-step processes to get you to go from being local to global?
Yeah, so right now all of my clients are still in California. So I don't even have any clients here in Las Vegas yet.
Okay.
But I think that advertising will probably be very helpful for me.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't done any advertising. All my business is based on referrals still.
Gotcha.
So everyone is kind of in the network of California. What I would do is just continue to network and advertise and tell people who I am, what I do and why, and it'll just happen naturally as I continue to pursue that.
What about the scaling portion? Being able to manage such a large group of people, processes, systems. What about that portion?
Yeah, that will have to come as I expand and grow my team and, just continue to train people into the positions they need to be in to make sure that our systems are in place, that everything makes sense, and in my company internally, I have a really, I don't want to say strict rule by any means, but we are really passionate about communication and honesty and being really real with each other. I don't want my employees to feel any way except happy to come to work. I want them to be doing what they love and not afraid to tell me if they have feedback or if there's something not working. So if I can build that company culture of trust and honesty, then I think that we could really scale in a way that other companies just can't do.
Now you talk about your employees. Where are your employees based out of? Are they Vegas? Are they California? Are they elsewhere?
Currently, I have a few VAs that are based in the Philippines.
Okay.
They are so incredible. I love my girls. And I'm actually hiring a couple more in the coming weeks too. So we're just continuously growing step by step.
What's been your business like because of having VAs and working with virtual assistants?
It has been easier by far. I did not know what I was missing, I was doing this by myself. That's why I couldn't grow. And as soon as I got VAs in, I realized that I could delegate so much of what I do and it would be done better than I could have done it.
100%, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what challenges have you seen with having VAs though? With having VAs run your business?
I have seen mostly sometimes communication can be an issue, so that's why I'm really on top of it, because I just want to make sure that they're able to know that they can talk to me about anything, right? So if there's an issue or if something's taking too long or there's a question, send me a message on Slack, I'm here,
Gotcha. So leaving an open line of communication, is that what it is?
Yeah, definitely.
And
ensuring that they understand that they can use it, I'm accessible.
Gotcha. Man, that's powerful because I know that there's this gap between, especially in the Philippines, there's this gap between employees and the boss or the owner of the company, where there's typically not a line of communication there, but you instill that in your organization.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
absolutely.
Culturally, because we have virtual assistants in the Philippines as well, culturally, I know that it can be challenging to have this line of communication. How do you, open up that door? What are the processes that you do to open up that door?
What I've been doing, and it's working so far, is when I bring them in immediately, I tell them, like, truly, this is not like any other company you've worked for. I am not like any other CEO you've worked for. Like, I want you to talk to me. I want you to tell me how you feel, good or bad. And I try to set that up and make sure they understand it and really connect with them. Then once we're working together, I have a lot of meetings in place. So my company culture is extremely important to me, because even if it was just me and one other person, I would still feel this way. Like, I want them to love what they do. So we have the first day of the week there, Monday. There's what I call a water cooler meeting, and all of the girls, everyone in the company, they all
You
get on
have a lot of
Zoom.
people in your company?
I will have 4 very soon. I had 3, now I have 2, and I'll have 2 more.
So you're growing.
I am growing.
Yeah.
And I'm like learning what positions I'm in need of. Like I'm getting another designer, I'm getting a project manager, I have an analyst, and I have a content manager. So, and then me.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so the water cooler meeting in the beginning of the week is just for them. I don't attend that one. It's for them to hang out, talk about whatever they want. Most of the time they end up co-working, which I think is really cute. I love it. They all love like working together. Like they told me the other day that they feel like sisters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's what I want. And then on the next day, on my Monday, so their Tuesday, we have their weekly sync. So it's all about the business, catching them up on news. I'm very open about everything with them. I tell them about my client meetings. I tell them about what we're changing in the business. I ask them for feedback. Like they are super involved.
So that's big. Like really, this open communication.
Yeah, they feel invested in what we're doing. I want them to like know that they are part of it and their ideas are welcome. I tell them all the time, like I couldn't do any of this without them. So I want to hear their feedback. And then every day of the week I have a one-on-one meeting with each of them where we just talk about life. Like we don't really talk about business, we just catch up and have like a time to invest in our personal relationships.
Gotcha. Man, that is very profound on how you're creating your business and the relationships that you're creating in your business. Now, take me through the client. So if I'm a client, what happens afterwards? Like what happens? I call you and I say, hey, you know what? I'm struggling online. I need help.
Yeah.
What happens next?
So if you sign up with us, the onboarding process looks like meetings with me, figuring out what it is you need, what we want to do. I delegate like the design process to my team and figure out like how everything's going to look. Then I show the client and I'd be like, what do you think of this? Do you like it? What do you want to change? It won't hurt my feelings. Like how many things do you want? What do you want to do? Once the client likes what we're doing, then we have an idea of what the brand is going to look like with our version of their brand. And then we go into the posting. And then after that, I have, depending on how many meetings the client wants, we can meet every week, we can meet twice a month, once a month, or just as needed. The client is as involved as they want to be. A lot of the time my clients just want us to do it and like just keep going. Other times they want to be really involved and they want to learn what's happening. And everything in between, So
if I sign up with you, are you like my go-to person?
Yeah, it's just me.
Gotcha.
I manage all my clients directly.
You manage them. So you're keeping this relationship even with your clients.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I have really great boundaries always with everything I do. So like there's a certain time frame that I spend with my clients.
What do you mean by boundaries?
So I think boundaries are so important. Like I think that work shouldn't be 100% of your life. You have to have a good balance.
That's good. That's good.
You have to, otherwise you can't perform in anything you do. So I take my rest very seriously. I take my weekends off. I take my mornings to myself. My clients can talk to me between the hours of 11 and 5. And after 5 to 8 is me and my team.
Okay.
And everything else is me. So I take that really seriously. But if it's within those hours, my clients can talk to me whenever they like.
And I'm really big on delegation.
Yeah.
Right? I'm really big on delegating. I think for the solopreneur, where they have to do everything, it gets tiring. And like you said, you can't really grow because you got to do everything.
Yeah, there's no time.
How do you delegate? What is the mental portion of delegating? Like how do you think? What are your thoughts when delegating?
Yeah.
And then what are the actual step-by-step processes to delegate?
Yeah, okay. So I've been learning this more and more, and I'm always learning. I'm always getting better at it, but the process is like I ask myself, do I actually have to do this myself, or can I teach someone else how to do it?
What's an example of something that you were doing yourself?
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, I should have someone else do this.
Oh, I can tell you a great example. So I used to create the content, write the caption, post it manually, and then like keep up with interactions all myself. That takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
I realized that I could delegate every part of that process if I wanted to. So I have the design goes to my designer, comes back to me, I decide if I like it or not, or I change it myself. You know, I'm very involved in that process still because I love it. So I'm like, okay, is that what I want it to look like? Let me move this over like 2 pixels, looks good. You know, and then my content manager, she takes the content, she writes the caption. She does such a good job too. Like she's a machine. I love it. She could write like 100 captions in a row, and like they're fantastic and unique and different. They're not boring, you know. So she writes a great caption, picks the right hashtags based on research that we've done, and then she schedules it in a scheduler, and that's it. We're done. And then I still like to manage the interactions myself, so I still do that. I like to respond to comments and talk to people.
I see.
Yeah.
And then, so now you delegate that, and how does that make you feel as the business owner?
Really good, because I'm able to give other people the job that they like, that I may not like as much. And then they get to thrive doing what they like to do, and then I get to tell them, like, good job, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, we do really good work together, and we're a team, and, like, that makes me so happy.
Gotcha. And then, so what are the step-by-step processes? How do you delegate? Is it just like you send a message and say, hey, I just need you to do this? Is there software? Is there tools? Is there, you know, something else that I'm missing?
I organize my business entirely on Notion.
Notion, okay.
Yeah, and so we've got a bunch of workspaces in there, but like I have a board for design tasks and a board for analytics tasks, for copywriting, for general company, like all kinds of stuff broken down by topic. Mm-hmm. And then in there I have like a Kanban kind of setup, and I'll put in a task tile.
The Kanban is the boards?
Yeah.
The tiles?
Yeah, the tiles, and like in progress, finish, needs review, stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'll put in something, and let's say we just did this great campaign.
Why use something like Notion, like a software like that, versus just sending your team a bunch of emails?
Oh my God. Just thinking about that makes me anxious. No, I'm a very type A person. I'm very visual. I need to see it. So I am very serious about organization. So if I'm just sending stuff at them, I know that I would feel overwhelmed having like a bunch of emails to sort through. Uh-huh. So instead, if I'm having a meeting with them, I'm telling them about what they're doing, but I'm also writing what it is into the task tile, which is what my project manager will do for me now, which is great because I don't have time anymore. But what we do is like, this is what needs to happen. Here's the task tile. Let's break it down step by step. Here's what you need to do. Here's where you can find that information. Let's link back to our client page that has all the details about what to do with the client and like what their style guide is and everything. So it's all super interconnected and organized and very clear. Like I want it to be easy enough to do the job, to understand it, so there's room to be creative. Because like if you're just worried about every little thing and trying to figure out the missing parts, you're not going to have the brain power to be creative and make something different. And I need them to be creative. So I take all of the guesswork out of it, best I can.
So how could business owners, reach out to you and build a relationship with you? Because you're based here in Las Vegas, right? I am,
yeah, but obviously I'll take clients from anywhere.
So how can people reach out to you and build a relationship with you so you can help them in their social media needs?
Yeah, so phone call, email, I have a Calendly so they can book a Zoom call with me. I love Zoom. Zoom is my favorite. So
what phone number do you want them to call?
Okay,
or is it a website? What do you want?
I'd probably prefer to give out my email. Okay. That would be the best way to get in contact with me.
Okay, good people over here.
All right. So my email is ren@vixencreativeagency.com.
Okay, ren@vixencreative.agency.com. Thank you so much for being on the show, Ren.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And what is the last thing that you want to share with the audience so that way they know, what action steps to take next?
It's just the fact that social media and online presence is really, really important, and doing it right is what makes it different. If you can be visually stunning and authentic, it will attract people to you without anything else invested.
Gotcha.
So we do that.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in her social media services, be sure to reach out to Ren.
Tune in every week to discover new stories, new businesses, and new ideas.